What was your Thanksgiving drama this year? My 21-year-old sister will graduate from college in less than a month. My brother congratulated her on being the first person in our family to graduate college without getting pregnant. Turns out that's not true. She started sobbing and got in her car and drove away. Whoops. I have a history of saying shit to someone at exactly the wrong moment in that person's life. I can relate. My mom, who I've been no contact with for most of my life, said she wanted to reconcile and please come to Thanksgiving so she could see her grandson. She wasn't there when we arrived, and told my sister that she didn't want to have dinner with us. Literally nobody cared, and we had a great Thanksgiving without her. Honestly dodged a bullet. Come visit, I want to see you, I don't want to see you. This bitch Lamau. It sounds so ridiculous, but I think that situations like this are sometimes about control. If op instigated no contact and took that control away from the parent, this might be their way of reasserting their dominance? Kind of like, you don't want to see me? Ha, I don't want to see you. Narcissists are assholes. You can't fire me, I quit. The gravy was a war crime. The plastic cooking utensil melted into it. I was the first to find out. Macroplastics. My Thanksgiving dinner was me, my parents, and my younger sister. Just the four of us at my parents' home. Mom got a text message from my aunt, Mom's sister, about how Grandma, Mom's mom, was bad-mouthing the food she made and talking about how her boys, Mom and Aunt's brothers, can't be expected to eat this stuff. Mom texted Aunt back with, tell her that guests don't get to complain about free food, they just get to choose if they want to eat or not. Apparently Aunt took this advice, because about 20 minutes later Mom got several texts and voicemails, she didn't answer her phone, about how Aunt kicked people out early and how Mom ruined Thanksgiving by telling Aunt to say that. This is why we stopped going to family Thanksgivings BTW. Mom's the hero there. And great job Aunt for sticking up for herself and kicking them out. Father-in-law got drunk, took his shirt off and then arm wrestled my son, lost. Then tried to tackle his daughter, my wife, also lost. Everyone is worried Grandma has dementia, but for some reason she made a pie. Everyone ate it and pretended it was pie. Not sure what to call it, it was in a pie pan, there was no crust. It had apples. Deconstructed apple pie. There we go. Grandma doesn't have dementia, she's just a hipster. Had to call a tow truck on some teenager, friend of front neighbor's kid, because he wouldn't move his car that was blocking my mom's driveway. She told him to move it since she needed to get something for dinner. He answered that he shouldn't have to move it because it's a public street. I go get the stuff and then get home. I again tell him to move it because I want to park up the driveway. Shouts at me that I can find parking up the street. Now he has no car for Thanksgiving and cop gave him a ticket. What an asshole and a dipshit. Anyone with half a brain and a driver's license could tell you can't block a driveway. Anyone with half a brain and a driver's license, sorry, best we can do is no brain and half a driver's license. My kids got hammered wed night, one got left at the bar and walked 3 miles to get home. I woke up 3 a.m. and saw that one kid was missing, so I called him. He was still a mile from home, so I drove to get him. When I got to him, the police were questioning him. Said they had a report of a man with a weapon having a mental health crisis. Luckily they got another call and let my doofus go home with me. A long time ago I got really drunk at a bar, and when it was time to go home I walked for 2 hours to a house I hadn't lived in for over 5 years. It was getting light by that time and I stopped in the driveway realizing I didn't live there anymore and turned around and walked back for 2 hours to my apartment near the bar I had been at. This was 25 years before Uber existed. So yeah, young drunk people do stupid things. The power went out at the host's house and I ended up cooking and hosting at the last minute. This happened to a bunch of people in San Diego today. Something like 5K homes had power shut off due to fire risk. My grandmother's dog literally died an hour before dinner. A 22-year-old woman showed up at my house crying because she was lost and asked me if I could help her find her boyfriend's house. I was just about to put my streaks on the grill. My wife and I had a couple drinks at this point, so I offered to walk her to her boyfriend's house. She knew that he lived near the jail and that was only about a 15 minutes walk from my house. While we were walking, she said that her phone and food stamp debit card got stolen recently, so she couldn't call her boyfriend. We ended up walking the area I thought he would love in based upon her very incomplete description of where her lived. She said that some of the sites looked familiar, but she wasn't sure if we were in the right area. At one point we found a cop and she asked him for help, but he said that he was busy responding to a call. After walking a good chunk of my small hometown, we found his house, a 2-mile or so walk that ended up being just a few blocks from my house. It was a nice walk, my dog enjoyed it and I got to help someone. She is my daughter's age and I didn't want anything bad to happen to her. NGL I was waiting for, and that's when I got jumped, glad to be wrong. We found out grandma gets competitive as hell in beer pong. Semi-related, but my husband made espresso martinis for my family last Christmas, and after a couple grandma fell over trying to return a shot in a game of table tennis. Might have to go half strength on the cocktails this year. She's nearly 80. Grandma's earned the right to the high-octane stuff, don't you dare deny her a good time. My dad said this was the best Thanksgiving dinner he's ever had. I cooked. Aw. My aunt's pet lynx torn open my nephew's scrotum. Straight to the My dad and stepmom were ragging on me, which is pretty normal. I came to their house for Thanksgiving and my brother showed up. My brother and I haven't seen each other in about 4 years. Anyway, so they're going on about me and my brother is getting visibly uncomfortable. They've been like this to me my whole life and I think my brother had that realization very suddenly, same as I did when my girlfriend pointed it out. It was good to see someone get upset about the things they say to me. It makes me realize I'm not crazy. This sounds exactly like my husband, except he's an only child. It took me to be uncomfortable, and angry, for solidarity to come. They're cut out of our lives now. Family should be a safe place, or it isn't family, imho. Family should be a safe place, or it isn't family. Thank you for saying this. My cousin unfortunately came out as a flat earther while I was showing off my brand new telescope I bought recently. I didn't know that coming out as stupid was a thing. Somehow he made it possible, and to add on to his stupidity he said the moon was fake and a reflection of the earth. Reflecting onto what? His smooth, shiny brain surface. My in-laws have a place at a lake an hour or so from our house. Every time we go my Sil takes the bedroom with a full bed and toddler bed for herself and her one child, who sleeps with her. Her other 2 children sleep with my in-laws. My husband and our 3 children are left trying to figure out where to sleep, usually on an air mattress on the living room floor. Wellway came early and took the room. She is livid, stomping around and slamming doors. Has been for 4 hours. Update, thank you to everyone who responded. Sil eventually went to bed around midnight, after saying for hours that she was going to go to a hotel instead of sleep in the other bedroom with a twin mattress. Mill told her this morning she better knock it off, and the day has been relatively normal. I basically talked with her like nothing was wrong. Tried the whole kill 'em with kindness approach, seemed to work. Was actually a really good day, best holiday we have had. Played board games and laughed, strange considering how it started. She got beat at her own petty game. Well played. In-laws are visiting from out of town. Except father-in-law decided to leave yesterday and go home before Thanksgiving and did not come back. He told my wife and I, just not his wife. Mother-in-law is still here. FYI, this is normal for him. Is he spending Thanksgiving with his mistress' family? Teresa, strong possibility that my stepmother sabotaged my stepsister's cooking. I have to hear this story. This was my first Thanksgiving without my mom, so I volunteered to work. One of my coworkers was telling me about how her extended stay messed up her room key and weren't on property to fix it, so she was going to sleep in her car till tomorrow. It is cold tonight. I gave her money for a hotel tonight as a peef in honor of my mom. My mom was cheap and a terrible tipper who would never have given money to a stranger, so yeah, my mom inspired generosity in death. Hope you're doing okay. I'm okay. It's hard because I remember last year, sitting at the table talking. She died suddenly with no will 3 months ago, so it's been a struggle. My uncle invited me to dinner but I just couldn't. Work pays double for holidays, so it made sense. I'm glad I had the money with me and that she is safe tonight.